Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
Big developments today in the FBI raid of former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. We now know what was taken from his Florida estate. A judge unsealed a search warrant this afternoon, hours after Trump's legal team agreed to its release. It
shows the Justice Department recovered 11 sets of classified documents. Some were labeled secret, others top secret. Among the items seized by the FBI, paperwork with information about the president of France and an executive grant of clemency for Trump ally Roger Stone. One document attached to the search warrant said the agents were searching for any evidence that violates 3 laws, including the Espionage Act. After the raid, dangerous rhetoric has ramped up against the FBI, and today members of Congress spoke out about that.
The FBI raid of President Trump is a complete abuse and overreach of its authority.
The things that people are saying are picked up by people who may be unstable, and it's dangerous. People are threatening our law enforcement personnel. That's completely wrong.
So we just know a little about the variety of the documents. We don't know what's in the documents. And today, former President Trump denied reporting from the Washington Post, alleging that the documents related to nuclear weapons are among the classified documents. More reaction coming up in 30 minutes from now, right here on NBC Nightly News. Other news tonight here at 6, the last place you'd expect to find high school and college students on a beautiful Friday. Perhaps the state capitol in Lansing.
Yeah, but you know what? Several were there, and they laid on the ground for what they call a die-in, signifying those killed from gun violence. And as Jason Colthorpe reports, their emotional pleas for legislators to do something fell on absent ears.
And the first thing you might notice about this rally is it wasn't all that big, just a few dozen students, including a few from Oxford. But that wasn't the important part for them. They wanted to be here when lawmakers were not.
While you are in summer recess, we are being used as target practice. Do you even care?
Students with March for Our Lives holding a rally called No Guns at Recess on the steps of the state capitol.
Surviving Oxford High School left pieces of me broken and scattered that I'm still trying to reassemble.
Oxford students Zoe Torre and Aubrey Greenfield were 2 of the speakers who shared what they went through.
As I said, November 30th, it wasn't just 8 months ago, it's today, it's tomorrow, it's all the time.
Greenfield is a senior at Oxford this year and spoke about re-entering the school last January and the trauma of walking where fellow students died. That's why she drove to Lansing today while the legislature is in recess.
Even though our lawmakers are on recess right now, gun violence does not stop. Our message today is that we are sick and we are tired, and if you don't do something today, you won't have a job in November.
My classmates that I go to school with, that I walk those halls with, could be in danger. That the people with whom I've spent the past 4 years could die in the matter of seconds because our legislators won't create change.
It's the summer. Like, why are we at the Capitol advocating for gun violence prevention so people and young people don't die in schools? We should be like out and doing something. We should be going to have ice cream. We shouldn't be doing this work, and it's not fair of like legislators and adults to expect us to continue to do this work and to push all of the burden onto us.
Obviously, the main goal here is getting gun legislation, but for Zoe and Aubrey, speaking at events like this is also therapeutic for them. And they know the more they do it, the better the chance they can help others through that legislation, but also help themselves in the process. We're in Lansing. Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
Turning now to your forewarned weather on a beautiful Friday night.
For just about anything. Eating outside, heading over to the Lions game. Really nice night. Let's check in with Kim, what we expect this evening and the weekend. Kim?
Well, it is clear right now and beautiful. Here we are right now in Metro Detroit. This is our exact track 4D radar. But what we're watching are some showers out to our west. There is a batch of rain right now just outside of Milwaukee, and we are continuing to watch this rain develop as we go through the next several hours. But take a look. It's just kind of bumping into that dry air, and that's why we're so kind of just waiting to see the next model run to see whether or not we do get rain in here tomorrow night, and if so, how much, because it's bumping into that dry air mass. But it's beautiful tonight. You don't have to worry about anything. 78 right now at City Airport, 80 at Metro Airport, and upper 70s in Pontiac. I'll have your forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Kim, supporters of a controversial education choice petition have turned in hundreds of thousands of signatures to the state.
This petition could bypass the ballot and the governor's veto. Grant Herms live with what's in this proposal. Grant.
Devin Sander, this looks a lot like a pair of proposals that have been put before voters in the past. Now, voters voted those down previously. It also looks like some legislation that was sent to the governor earlier this year that she vetoed, but this initiative is a little different. It would bypass both the governor and voters, only needed to be approved by state lawmakers.
Handed in this week, 525,000 signatures for the Let My Kids Learn petition, 185,000 names more than needed. The initiative would do two things. First, it would create tax credits for donors who support a scholarship fund for students that would include paying for private school tuitions and homeschooling. It would also allow families at or below 200% of the poverty line to sign up for accounts that would give them access to those scholarships. The initiative is heavily backed by former Education Secretary Betsy DeVos, who helped launch the push with former Vice President Mike Pence back in May. Supporters say the money is necessary to help students catch up after studies have shown a large gap in learning and learning loss after the pandemic. Opponents say it amounts to a voucher system.
The Michigan Constitution is very clear on this, that public money should not be going to private schools and private education, that we are very strongly a pro-public education state. And our Constitution outlines that.
In a statement today, the spokesperson for the group behind the petition saying in part, there's plenty of time for the Bureau to do their fine work on our initiatives so that this legislature can enact these groundbreaking reforms before Christmas. And that would be quite a gift for the kids of Michigan. But there are several other high-profile initiatives with signatures also needed to be counted by the fall. The question now is, will all of those get approved, and how long will it take?
Now, this initiative did miss a June deadline, which is why it won't be on the ballot, but is still sort of in play here. If it doesn't get in front of lawmakers by the end of the year, Devin, it'll be on the ballot in 2024. Back to you.
Grant, in Michigan, we had some of the longest school closures, of course, in the country during COVID. We've talked about learning loss, such a big issue, but is it unique to Michigan?
It's certainly not unique to Michigan. Neither is this initiative. 23 states have a similar style voucher kind of program like this, or a scholarship program like this. But there has been research that's shown that the results for these kinds of things is mixed at best. It depends on the student, the school, the state, all of this. But we will see if these signatures get approved here in the next few weeks. Back to you.
We sure will. All right, Grant.
A Westland man appearing before a judge today charged with murdering a Grand Blanc teen. Avion Sanders charged with first-degree murder in connection with the death of 18-year-old Jacob Hills. Prosecutors say the two left a party in Detroit together last month. They say Sanders killed Hills, stole his AR-15, and then left his body in the basement of a home on West Warren. Today, Sanders pled not guilty to his charges. We've also learned there was an arrest warrant out for Sanders at the time of the shooting for a barricaded gunman situation back in 2020. Now to an update on a story we first brought you last night at 11. New state police chopper video shows a very chaotic night for Detroit police, dodging bullets in two different chases last night.
This video is from a chase that started with a traffic stop over a license plate. Police dash cam video shows officers chasing a truck with 3 armed men inside who were shooting at officers. All 3 were arrested. A few hours earlier, officers were chasing 3 men after responding to gunfire. 2 of them were arrested. The other suspect's still on the run, though. Detroit police say all involved, including a 14-year-old, have previous rap sheets.
The individuals in the first caper last night fired shots, have lengthy criminal records. The young man, this 14-year-old man that was driving in the second incident, was just arrested 2 days prior for a non-fatal shooting. And he was released on a very horrifically low bond.
Despite the wild night, police tell us there were no injuries. New concerns tonight in the retrial of the plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer as the judge is overseeing an investigation of a juror behind closed doors. An attorney for defendant Barry Croft Jr. claims one member of the jury hoped to be selected to ensure a certain verdict. We're told no one can talk about the situation as the judge is trying to limit the risk of a mistrial, but for now that juror has not been removed. During the trial, prosecutors continue to call FBI agents who hired confidential informants to join the Wolverine Watchmen. One informant says they shared a bed with defendant Barry Croft during training exercises, which is a violation of FBI rules.
A Metro Detroit man drowns in the Saginaw Bay after being knocked down by a wave. The Huron County Sheriff says the 65-year-old man from Commerce Township was standing with another man on a sandbar in Caseville Township. Both of them were knocked over when the wave hit, and the Commerce Township man was taken out further into the water by a rip current. His body was found 20 minutes later. The other man got to shore. The sheriff's office reminding everyone to be aware of rip currents.
Heads up for drivers. Part of I-75 is closing in Wayne County tonight.
Southbound I-75 is going to be closed from 375 to the Lodge. Crews are going to be repairing the John R. Street Bridge. So if you are headed downtown, detours will be posted for you. The southbound lanes of the freeway close in less than an hour from now and are expected to reopen before the Monday morning commute.